Oh, hey there, guys. Are you recording? Perfect. So this comes up on every single trip that I go on. Anytime we go and hunt with other guys, somebody tells me that they struggle with their dogs eating while they're on the road. That's why we're gonna talk about the importance of teaching your dogs to eat and how you do that and how we do that starting at a very young age. So first of all, teaching your dogs to eat involves, at a young age, basically we put food down for them. If they choose not to eat that food, we pick the food up. Now, some people may say that sounds a little harsh or whatever, but the dogs learn pretty quickly that when food gets put down, food needs to be eaten. Now, the benefits of this are a couple different things. One of which, when you get on the road, the average guy, and the average guy that talks to me about it says, as soon as they hit the road, you know, where there's a little additional stress and things like that, the dogs stop eating. So let's say it takes one day to travel to your hunting spot, dog doesn't eat anything because they don't want to. They feel unsure or stressed from travel or whatever it may be. Then you get to day 2 and you hunt all day, just like we did today. And again, the dogs don't eat. Now you're going on day 2 with no food in their system, and they've hunted anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 hours, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. And then you get into day 3 and you're like, I've got to get these dogs to eat something, and you throw them the leftover part of your morning hamburger sandwich, or you throw them some steak scraps, or you start putting hamburger grease or bacon grease on top of their food to try and get them to eat. And now you're compounding the problem. You have a dog that's going to hold out for this extra super special stuff, as well as all of that extra grease and everything else isn't good on their system. Then they're gonna be running through the field, having the runs, and all of these things add up to a not good situation for your hunting dog. So we take and we do a couple of different things, but one of which is what I explained with putting food down and waiting for the dogs to eat. Give them a few minutes. If they choose not to eat all of that, you pull that rest of the meal and you offer them again their meal in the evening. That's going to teach good habits for eating. The other side of it is, from puppyhood on, we do and put a lot of emphasis on working for their food. And when the dogs have a good understanding of working for their food, which is why you see in our videos, we utilize dog food or kibble as the reward. People talk about what kind of treats should we use or what should we be doing with our positive reinforcement training, and we actually use dog food during their meals. Dogs have to eat, so it's a pretty easy time to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes using that meal to feed the dogs, which is developing that we work for our food. Now, when we hunt, I don't feed a ton in the morning. I feed a little bit in the morning. If we're gonna hunt a whole day, I feed the rest of their meal at night. And then we actually float their food or put water on it to help force hydration. Our dogs do a pretty good job drinking, but I need this food. This is the puppy food for the puppy. Our dogs do a pretty good job of drinking, but ultimately, they always need more water. Hydration is a huge, huge, huge portion to recovery. And when they ran as much as they did, I mean, I'd venture to say they pushed 10 to 15 miles today a piece, which is quite a bit of running. And hydration is gonna be key for that recovery, so they're gonna be ready to do it again tomorrow. But we've got food. We're gonna go ahead and get these guys out and then start setting down. There's that. Nixer decided he wanted to eat the dog bed. Come on. Good job. No. Stop. We've got dogs on chains while they're on the road. This gives us the ability to tell when they've gone to the bathroom. This takes some time. We've got this little puppy here. And he's traveling along on this road trip. Come on. And he's learning how to spend some time on the chain gang too. First time he hit this chain was on this road trip, and kind of got a little bit freaked out about here, and he was restrained, and he was fighting and pulling a little bit and got over it. But even this little guy gets his food floated. We pour not a ton. We did just enough water here to cover up the food, and that'll be what he'll get. Now, the next problem that we hear from people is my dogs eat too fast, and they want to figure out ways to slow that down or to get their dogs to and there's a couple pluses and minuses to that. So first of all, dog eats everything you put in front of them. When we get on the road and we have these long hunts, I need to push a little bit more food, and they'll eat it. So when we've taught this behavior of how to eat and having good eating habits, you have a dog that can eat extra food when they need that. Or you have your pickier dogs that we talked about earlier that were on day 3 and they still haven't eaten anything. Puppy, shush. They haven't eaten anything, and you're trying to force a little bit of extra calories into them because they ran 15 miles. They're not gonna do it. And then you start getting into breaking down that muscle, and you have a dog that's losing a ton of weight really, really fast. So the importance of teaching your dogs to eat involves a couple things. 1, you have a dog that's willing to work. 2, you can force extra food or push extra food when you need it. And then 3, floating their food. You have the ability to push extra hydration so that you can keep these dogs healthy and ready for recovery. And then last but not least, the issue that people come up with is dogs that love to eat and are good eaters typically eat really fast. So we hear, my dog eats really fast, and then they end up puking that food back out. Well, if you have that problem, this floating their food, like we said, just a little bit of water on that, pretty much eliminates that. And it accomplishes 2 things. A, helps push the extra hydration, but also slows them down just enough that you don't end up having that dog that eats too fast. So these are a couple reasons why teaching your dogs to eat is an important part of dog health, especially for our hunting dogs. Thanks guys for watching. I'm the guy with the pink cow.